Hi everybody, welcome to Unit 5 and yay, you've made it to the end of this mini-series now. Today we are going to talk about pencil control, but before we do, let's do a little recap of what we have done so far. In Unit 1 we discussed how the positioning of the whole body from your feet to your trunk, your shoulders, to your wrist and your fingers and thumb will impact pencil control for writing, and to also help you identify which skills need further development if your child doesn't yet have a mature pencil grip. From Unit 2, you now have some ideas of how to work on pencil control while keeping it fun, playful and connected so that we can avoid resistances and anxiety around writing. In Unit 3, I shared how to use sensory preparation activities to increase body awareness and hand awareness for writing. And in Unit 4, we talked about core stability and shoulder strength and some activities to develop these areas while focusing on using the correct muscle activation. And today in Unit 5 we will talk about some fine motor activities that will help improve pencil control in a fun way. Let's get started. Every occupational therapist you meet will always have Play-Doh or putty in their bag of tricks. It's a really amazing tool that you can adapt to your child's interests, and there are many ways that you can up the ante and the challenge while doing these activities. So first, let's think about how we want to create the just right challenge for your child. We don't want the activity to be too easy or too difficult. And let's start by deciding whether we want to use Play-Doh or if you want to use putty, and that will depend based on your child's hand strength. You can order all sorts of different resistances of Theraputty online and on Amazon you can even get a kit which has different resistances in that kit, from soft to medium to firm. I also love Crazy Aaron's Thinking Putty, which I'm not 100%, but I think it was developed and marketed for people who work in offices to help them get their fidgets out and focus. So it's really cool because it comes in different types. So you can find some that have a magnetic element to it, or some which have sparkles or glow in the dark, and there's even one that comes with this little light that you draw in the putty with, and then it glows in the dark or changes colour. Us occupational therapists really love putty, and we become a bit like a child in a toy shop when we see different kinds out there. I even saw one I think a couple of years ago that it is like a snowman, and you can make the snowman and then it will melt away. So there are lots of different fun kinds out there that you can explore and adapt to what your child is interested in. In Unit 1 we discussed how this position of extension in your wrist will help you to have better finger grasp. So when we are doing these Play-Doh and putty games, let's explore how we can incorporate a lot of this wrist extension in the activity as well. So if we want to work on whole hand strength for your child, and if it's difficult to use more refined precision with their fingers, we can start by hiding objects, big objects, or covering bigger toys with Play-Doh. So I'm going to use this pencil, but you can find an animal or a car or something that your child likes, and you can have them use their whole hand to squeeze and mold this Play-Doh around the object to hide it. And then you can use it as part of a treasure hunt. And we could even incorporate elements from our previous units and have them crawl through a tunnel or over your crash pads and find these hidden or covered in Play-Doh objects to retrieve, and then they can uncover it. If this is difficult to do, you can cover the objects in Play-Doh for them and have them uncover it. Next, you can take your Play-Doh or putty and squeeze it into a ball. You can even use your hands. Make sure if you're rolling the Play-Doh to have your child flatten their hand or stretch their fingers out to activate the muscles in both their hands, and then roll it in your hands to make a ball. We can also squash the ball with both hands, so you can see we are working on this extension in our wrist to do that. And from here we can also make a snake or a sausage or a log and use our flat hands to roll it out. And then you can encourage your child to use these pinchy fingers to pinch along what they have made. Or you can pinch off pieces with those fingers, and you can roll these into a ball again. And then you can either squash them between your hands, you can squash them on the floor, or you can even squash them against a wall or upright surface. I hope that gives you some ideas to get going with using Play-Doh or putty. Let's consider writing in different positions. As occupational therapists, we love using any upright surface or any position where you can get more extension in your wrist for better finger control. So I love doing two things. One, taking a big roll of paper or wallpaper and sticking it on the floor and then crawling around while drawing on this big mural. Or we can do the same with the paper on an upright surface against the wall. You can also use easels or stick a piece of paper on the wall or the fridge. In an earlier unit, I mentioned that I love using crayon rocks. So this is the perfect time to use crayon rocks to strengthen the fingers and encourage a more refined grip with the fingers. You can also use broken pieces of crayon because it will be a small enough size to use just these fingers. So I can't believe it. We have now come to the end of this mini-series. It's been really fun doing this with you guys, and I hope you have gotten a lot out of it. Pat on the back and high fives for getting through it. Let's look at the aims I mentioned in the beginning. Do you feel like you know more about the next steps to help your child develop their pencil control? And do you know more about the order in which to develop these skills? Do you feel more confident in having more information and knowledge, and also more hopeful? Hi there, so you're back to me, the Munira a few years later from the time that this Helping Kids Write mini workshop was originally created. I really hope that you found the mini workshop easy to follow and helpful in an actionable way. As I mentioned in the introductory video, this workshop was created during lockdown when I had broken my wrist and we couldn't really see kids in person at that time. So it was made out of inspiration after my then 8-year-old son created his own YouTube channel and suggested that I do the same. And with the thought that this can maybe help lots and lots of parents and their kids who may not originally have occupational therapy support or resources for it. So what you've just seen and completed in this mini workshop is the result of that. And I actually love seeing it too, because I get to see my son when he was younger in there, which always makes me kind of have an awe kind of moment. So if you enjoyed this mini workshop, I want to tell you that this was just the beginning. It's a taster, and if you enjoyed this, you will love my 10 weeks Foundations for Writing program even more. Foundations for Writing is my 10 weeks parent coaching program where you get unlimited occupational therapy support from me to help you to help your child. In a nutshell, in Foundations for Writing, you get video tutorials, a deeper dive progression of sensory and motor activity starting from the root to do with your child, while you and you'll still see lots of Mohammed helping me to demo the activities. And the best part is you get to have your hand held all along the way. You get regular Zoom Q&A sessions, which are live or you have recorded access, and you have a private community where you're with other parents who are just like you, so you can ask your questions and get help and support from me in there at your fingertips. And you also benefit from other parents' experiences who walk in your shoes. So it will be like carrying me around on your phone, in your purse, or in your pocket. So if this speaks to you, send me a message or reply to one of the emails that you get about this program, and I'll share a link to the program. You can find it at ot4kids.thinkific.com. So I thank you so much for allowing me to be your guide on this mini workshop. And if you feel it's helpful to others, please do spread the word, and let's stay connected in the Helping Kids Write Facebook group. I hope to see you there. Right, take care. Bye-bye.